is sparking new controversy for the Clinton campaign. Now, the picture, which shows Hillary Clinton apparently needing assistance to climb a flight of stairs at a campaign stop back in February, was picked up by the Drudge Report, which posted this headline over the weekend, detailing Hillary Clinton's history with falls and speculating that the former Secretary of State could be experiencing a serious undisclosed medical condition. Earlier today, we reached out to the Clinton campaign for a statement, and a spokesman told us that the Drudge Report is shameful, and anyone who buys into that vitriol, including yours truly, is shameful as well. So shameful we are. Anyway, but what was noticeably missing from the statement was any reference or rebuttal to the health issues that are alleged by Drudge and others. Joining us now with analysis from the Fox News Medical A team, we have Fox News medical correspondent Dr. Mark Siegel, and Dr. David Samadi is with us. All right. By the way, it's in the Daily Mail. Are Hillary's health problems more severe than thought? A new book is coming out that claims that. The Gateway Pundit had today Hillary's handler carrying a diazepam pen for patients who experience recurrent seizures. When you look at her history, Dr. Siegel, of falling, concussions, the blood clots, etc., and then this other video that has emerged. What are your thoughts?
I think the public has a right to know. Number one, we're talking in 2008, Sean. I looked over 1,000 pages of John McCain's records because of a melanoma he had had 10 years before. What about Hillary? 2009, a severe fall. She breaks an elbow. 2011, she boards a plane, falls. 2012, she has a severe concussion, which Bill Clinton says it took her 6 months to recover from. Then she ends up with a blood clot on the brain. She's on lifetime blood thinners. Just the point alone, if she's prone to falling, and you see from our picture up there that it looks like she can barely get upstairs without two people carrying her. Guess what? If she falls and hits her head, she'll get a blood clot on her brain. What did you
think? Just out of fairness, I don't want to show the video, but I've asked both of you to look at the video where she seems to some have said it's like a mini seizure. What does it look like to you?
It looks to me, I'm also concerned about this concussion she had in 2012. It could be a post-concussion syndrome. You know, your balance is off, you're dizzy all the time, your memory is off, you're not thinking clearly. Maybe that's what she meant this week when she talked about that glitch she had with Chris Wallace. Maybe she just can't
think. When she says she's short-circuited.
Right.
Well, also, it's not just that. She doesn't give a lot of press conferences. She doesn't want to seem to put herself in high-pressure situations.
I want to know what her neurologist says. I've reached out to her neurologist at Columbia after she had that fall, no comment. I want to know what her neurological records show.
And you think, as you have done this with John McCain and other presidential candidates, obviously John McCain is older, you think it's fair game, especially if people see that something seem a little off.
Not just fair game, just the point alone that she's on blood thinners and seems to be prone to fall.
Why would you need blood thinners
when she's in the White House?
Is there a possibility she had a mini stroke, a TIA?
Absolutely.
What do you think, Doctor? You believe that?
Well, the picture that you showed as she's going up the stairs speaks a million words. So is she really fatigued? Is she dehydrated? One of the main reasons why she fell in 2012 and had the concussion was severe dehydration. They're holding her and going up the stairs, so she may be really dehydrated. She may have arthritis. She may have back pain. She may have fallen again that we don't know. So there are a lot more questions that's unanswered. What we know today is that she is on thyroid medications. She suffers from hypothyroid or low thyroid that can cause some fatigueness and gaining weight and all of that.
What about this photo that the Gateway Pundit had up today? Jim Hoft in an article, and Hillary's handler, I guess, was a diazepam pen. What would that be for?
So one of the things that happens after having concussion, usually within a year or so, you should all the symptoms should resolve. Occasionally, you have a latent or delayed kind of post-concussion syndromes, and seizure is
like traumatic
one of those.
Head issues for a football player.
Exactly what it is, and that can come years down the road. She may have some of these symptoms.
You think that's what you're seeing?
Well, I certainly think that a traumatic brain injury with symptoms down the road is very, very likely here, especially since she had a blood clot on her brain, and as David was mentioning, that can actually lead to a seizure problem. Someone's carrying a pen that you would use in the case of a seizure, a Valium pen. That makes me wonder about that. We need to see her records to see what's the sequelae.
They want
of
Donald Trump's tax. There's two things we want from her. We want her speeches to Wall Street and the medical records in full.
In full. I mean, Donald Trump eating fast food is nothing compared to this. Bill Clinton ate fast food in the White House. President Bush told me in the White House he couldn't stay away from the pastry chef.
Well, the other thing.
And look at him now.
All right, I got a break, but all right. So something to follow. People should pay attention. All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you both. Coming up, very important question of the day. We need your help. Straight ahead. Twitter, let us know what you think. It's all the time we have left this evening. Quick programming note. Tune in tomorrow night, 10 Eastern. The Republican nominee himself, Donald Trump, will join us right here on this program. Again, that's tomorrow night at 10 But thank you for being with us. We will see you back here tomorrow night.
Is that it punishes you for working and doing business in the United States. Every policy she has tilts the playing field towards other countries at our expense. And that's why she tries to distract us with tired political rhetoric that seeks to label us, divide us, and pull us apart. Hillary Clinton short-circuited again, to use a now famous term, when she accidentally told the truth and said that she wanted to raise taxes on the middle class. I want to jumpstart America, and it can be done, and it won't even be that hard. If sent to the Oval Office, Hillary Clinton will enact the TPP, as sure as you're sitting there. Before NAFTA went into effect, there were 285,000 auto workers in Michigan. Today, that number is only 160,000 auto workers. Detroit is still waiting for Hillary Clinton's apology. She has been a disaster. Obama has been a disaster. I expect Detroit will get that apology right around the same time Hillary Clinton turns over the 33,000 emails she deleted.
And former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani is here right now. Good evening, Mayor.
Good evening, Greta. Nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you. Okay, Mayor, what stood out in Donald Trump's speech to you?
Well, the first thing I found is that the whole economic program is a very comprehensive one. It's one that works. It's one that's proven. It's basically what Kennedy did. It's basically what Reagan did. It happens to be what I did in New York City on a smaller scale. And that is, we lowered taxes, reduced regulations, became business-friendly, because if you're business-friendly, you're jobs-friendly. And we didn't go in the direction of Hillary Clinton, which is socialism. It's basically more people getting more things from the government. Let's expand Obamacare. Let's let the government take care of you. The government taking care of you is what Obama's been doing for 8 years. And for 8 years, we've had the smallest growth basically in our history since the Great Depression.
He didn't mention anything about entitlements, about Medicare or Social Security. He has said before that he's not going to cut those benefits, but you can't sort of look at the economy and look at our budget and look at, spending and taxing and everything without taking into consideration that. Why did he speak about those two?
Well, I would say, first of all, this was an overall speech of a general approach to the economy. I don't remember Ronald Reagan speaking about those two either, and then he was able to make a deal to save Social Security. Maybe Donald Trump has become, as politically savvy as Ronald Reagan. You don't touch the third rail of politics and expect to get elected. Ronald Reagan ran on almost exactly the same things that Donald Trump is running on, I ran on, and many governors who have turned around states. And those decisions have to be made where you got to bring the other party into it so that they bear some responsibility for it. It's the wisdom that President Obama lacked with Obamacare by not bringing the Republicans in for some kind of a compromise. And Donald Trump understands we're going to have to deal with entitlements, but what he doesn't want to do is frighten the American people and fall into the trap that Republicans fall into all the time, which is that we don't want to take care of elderly people, we don't want to take care of children, we don't want to take care of people who are sick. So I think he laid out a program that is a really very, very intelligent program for how to grow the American economy, how to put America back to work again. This is what's been missing. To reduce the corporate tax from 35% to 15% will bring billions and billions of dollars into the United States and millions of jobs. And I'm going to tell you why I know that's true. Because on my little small scale of New York City, that's what I did. And when I did it, everyone told me I was going to create a recession. I was going to create a deficit. Well, I already had a deficit. Everybody said what Hillary Clinton said today. And they all turned out to be wrong. I turned a $2.5 billion deficit into a $3.5 billion surplus. I cut unemployment in half. I got 600,000 people off welfare. And I had more people working in New York City since nobody can remember when.
All right. Do you think that his speech today, there are a lot of Republicans who've had their feathers ruffled by Donald Trump, just put it like, I'll have him done. Do you think today that he in any way sort of calmed those people down, sort of got them on the Trump train? He's got the added problem that now someone has thrown his hat in the ring, another Republican to run, which may sort of chip off a few votes. But did he change things within his own party today?
Yes, I believe he did. He's not going to win them all over. I think that group of former officials, that came out against him, I think they made the point that Donald Trump, make no mistake about it, is running against the Washington insiders. He's running against the way things are now for change. So there are going to be Republicans who oppose him. But he'll make that up with independents. He'll make it up with some Democrats. If you're for the way things are now and the way they have been for the last 10 or 12 years, then vote for Hillary Clinton. If you want to change it, vote for Donald Trump. And all those public officials who came out today, who were Republicans, and said all those things about Trump, made Trump's point. He is running against the Washington corrupt, rigged system that leaves out the little guy.
Mayor, thank you for joining us. And today in the Motor City, Detroit, Donald Trump pinning that city's economic woes squarely on Secretary Clinton's back.
The city of Detroit is the living, breathing example of my opponent's failed economic agenda. Every policy that has failed this city and so many others is a policy supported by Hillary Clinton. She supports the high taxes and radical regulation that force jobs out of your community. She is the candidate of the past. Ours is the campaign of the future.
Beyond the Record political panels here from the Washington Examiner, Susan Ferriccio, and from Fortune Magazine, Nina Easton. Nina, we saw, I think, today a little different Donald Trump. I don't know if the old one will be back or not, but he was much more presidential, even interrupted 14 times by protesters, but just waited calmly as they were ejected.
He did, and it is important to remember, however, that and it was a very decent speech. We can go into the details of that.
To small businesses, individuals, the little guy, and he also did a good job connecting failed economic policy with Obama and Hillary Clinton. Those are two really important things he needed to get across to voters. And he wasn't just talking to any voters. He's talking to undecided voters who pollsters say will decide this election. They're the 10 to 12% of people who really haven't made up their minds yet, the election will hinge on these people. So this was a message for them. It was a great message that was not, taken under by these protesters. Normally what Trump would do is say, get him out of here, and it all becomes about the protesters. But he managed to stay quiet, and that kept the message on what was important for Trump's campaign, which was the economy, jobs, and trying to make the Obama administration look like, and Hillary, like they're not doing a good job.
Let's bring the viewers in. Viewers at home, now is your chance to vote on Twitter. Will Donald Trump's economic plan help you? Yes, you. Tweet yes or no using hashtag Greta. We'll show you live Twitter votes throughout the show. Today I thought it was interesting watching him, is that when he talked about the economics, he didn't talk about the entitlements. And Mayor Giuliani said, well, that it's not politically correct. But how do you...
Well,